Though your heart is aching, smile. Even though
Welcome to Don't Talk During the Movie podcast, where we don't talk during the movie, we talk about it after. I'm Mike, and this is Devin, and we are here at Valley Cinema in Little Falls, New York for our premiere episode. And we've just seen The Joker. So, initial comments here, I thought it was really good. It was really good.
I absolutely loved it. And just for the record, too, is that these are my own personal opinions. This isn't anything to do with Valley Cinemas as a whole. This is just something that my views will be my own. So, yay.
Now, before we get into our expectations for the movie, let's hear Mike Castles from the Castle Law Firm. All right. What do you expect from the Joker movie?
I expect to see him beat on Batman.
Yeah. All right. Now you're going to go in and you're going to find out what happens, all right?
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, all right. To start things off here, did it meet our expectations? I felt like it met my expectations. I was going in expecting a psychotic movie, and I feel like that's kind of what we got.
My expectations, to be honest, with any movie that I ever watch or pre-screen, they're always low. With this one, I felt like the expectation was a lot higher because it's the Joker. It's the iconic villain of Batman. So it's one of those things where you really can't mess it up. So my expectations were, okay, Warner Brothers, hopefully you've got your A game going. And I loved it.
Yeah, DC definitely needed a rebound film after. Aquaman I thought was good, Shazam was good, but they definitely needed another rebound film, and I feel like this definitely did it.
This was definitely it.
So I'm going to give you guys some information about the Joker. So Joker first premiered in Batman Comics in 1940, and he's been in 4 major motion pictures played by Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, and Jared Leto, and now by Joaquin Phoenix. So I guess the ultimate question that everybody's dying to know is, how would you rate him as the Joker?
Nobody can take the first position spot of Heath Ledger. The number 2 is Joaquin Phoenix, but it's a very close number 2. I want to see him in way more as Joker. I know that this is a standalone and that DC probably won't go too much into, especially with Birds of Prey coming out.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's going to be interesting as far as what they're going to be doing with that. But I really want to see him instead of Jared Leto. Sorry, Jared.
Yeah. In my personal opinion, I thought that Heath Ledger, like you said, you can't top Heath Ledger. I feel like, not to spoil too much at this point, I feel like they didn't give Phoenix a lot of time with the actual Joker. I felt like I saw a lot more Arthur than Joker. So, if we get a sequel film of some sort, I'm not saying it's going to be Joker, but if we get something, then hopefully we get to see a little bit more Joker.
Yeah, they show the person rather than the character.
Right.
I actually really enjoyed that too.
It was good, definitely good.
Yeah.
So, to give you some background about this Joker rendition, this standalone DC movie takes place in the early 80s and follows the story of a failed comedian, Arthur Fleck, who ultimately turns to a life of crime. So, I guess that's all we could really say about that.
Without
spoiling too much
Yeah.
about the movie. So the cinematography, I'm in a media course, I see camera shots all the time.
You said about 10 times during that. You might want to say that with less likes. You're saying a lot of likes. Just be conscious of the likes.
Unless you're putting comment and subscribe underneath it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Blooper. So let's get straight into the cinematography. So I'm in a media class, so I kind of see different, media shots, like close-ups, far-range shots, lighting. They tell us to get a white piece of paper and put it in front of the camera to kind of get the lighting down. I really liked the lighting in this movie. I thought it was it gave you that dark, eerie vibe. Well, it also had some of the colors of the city, and you also had the graffiti on the train and stuff, kind of like different pieces of color.
The iconic Gotham look.
Right, yeah. And some of the shots, there's a lot of shots where it's just Joaquin and Arthur Fleck, I guess. There's a lot of shots of him kind of just going like this and, doing his thing.
Dancing.
And so I guess, in my opinion, the cinematography was really good. Really good.
I couldn't agree more. As I said, interrupting you a little bit there, the iconic Gotham look, it's very dark, it's dreary. Although I will say this, and not to spoil anything too, is that the early portions of the film, you see it what's the phrase I'm looking for here? You see it in its beginnings.
Right.
You don't see the Gotham that, there's robbers and crooks that are all throughout the corner. You see it kind of live, but yet it's still pretty crappy. But then way down the line is where you start to see it devolve into just utter chaos.
Oh yeah, definitely. So what's some information about the actual movie itself, like the runtime, or like do you recommend it for kids? Like what do you recommend?
So the movie is 2 hours and 4 minutes long altogether. That's including credits as well. The movie is rated R. For those of you guys that don't know the MPAA rating system, rated R means restricted. That means that if you are under the age of 17, you have to have a parent or guardian with you in the film in order to watch it. And I always say this for rated R films, I don't recommend them to kids. I really don't, and this is my personal viewpoint, is that the reason the MPAA rating system exists is because they believe, in my opinion, that under the age of 17, you're not fully aware of reality and fantasy. When you're older, you've gone through life a little bit, you can see, oh, well, this means this and this means that. It's kind of like video games in a sense.
Right, yeah.
They put the ratings on there for a reason. You don't give Call of Duty Black Ops to a 6-year-old.
Right, exactly.
Warning, the following joke you are about to hear is cringe. Don't say I didn't warn you.
I heard you got a joke to tell me.
Oh, fantastic. Right to start with this, huh? So yeah, actually, do you know why it's rated R?
I have no idea why it's rated R. Can you tell me?
Because it would just be a joke without it. Well, he thought it was funny.
All right, so we're going to move on here after that
God.
very lame joke. So there was a lot of talk about violence in the movie, and like I heard a lot of things in the news and the media about how this is going to be it was very violent, how it gives very bad vibes and stuff. What's your opinion on that? Like, what did you see?
So, no, I don't think it was over the top at all. I honestly think that they hit it just on the mark. It was very concise, and it wasn't clean, but it wasn't enough to make me go, I don't recommend this to people that shouldn't come and see it if they don't know the situation.
Right.
So it's not, it's not completely bloody and gory, but there were some scenes that did have that, but they weren't spread all throughout the film. It was in specific spots. There wasn't no cursing, but there was not as much as I thought, especially in a rated R film.
Yeah.
Typically with rated R films nowadays, you see it riddled with curse words and blood, violence, gore, the like. This one, the writing of it was just spot on.
I kind of agree with you there. I feel like there was the killing and stuff and the blood kind of, was paced out very well. Mm-hmm. And overall, I feel like it did a great job for what it did. The violence portion of it was kind of like, I saw Rambo, and Rambo was gory.
That was over the top.
Gory. This was gory, but not to the extent of Rambo. Mm-hmm. But it's still rated R. So, yeah, you got to keep that in mind.
Rated R is a very weird subject, especially with movies, because they have such a fine line to work with. You could say that rated R...
Can I get some extra butter for my popcorn?
Job to do.
Okay, so moving on here, we're going to be talking about how this compared to the other movies that the Joker was originally featured in. So I felt like that this movie actually gave a good vibe of Gotham and, not necessarily Batman. Batman wasn't really too focused in this movie. I mean, it had the Wayne family in the movie. I won't get too much into it, but Wayne family was in the movie, as we saw from the trailers, the Wayne stuff. But I felt like it did a good job with the Gotham vibe. I feel like you felt like you were in actual Gotham City, and the other movies that Joker was in, you saw a lot more of that pre-Joker stuff that not a lot of people have seen before.
Either that, or you really don't see Gotham City. You pretty much see like the abandoned warehouses or the situational buildings that they're in. You don't really see Gotham itself.
Right, like you'll get certain hints of things like Arkham State Hospital, or
those
like because that was in the trailer where he's running to the hospital. But yeah, like. Just those certain little things that, like, it reminds you you're in Gotham City.
Yes.
All right, so moving on from that, Joaquin Phoenix's performance, I thought he did an excellent job. And it's been getting a lot of buzz that he's going to win an Oscar for this performance.
I totally agree. I think that he will actually get an Oscar with this. His performance in this film was just more than I thought that he could do.
Right.
As I said before, my expectations were a little bit, low to mediocre before we went and actually saw it. And now I'm looking at it going, holy crap, this guy might actually do it. His performance was top-notch. He was able to switch back and forth between reality and fantasy in a way that I've never really seen before, other than maybe, what was that one with James McAvoy? You know what I'm talking about too, don't you? It was Split.
Oh, okay.
When he was in Split. It's very much like that, where you have multiple personalities, not non-spoiler, promise, where it's kind of multiple personalities, like you're switching back and forth between a persona and yourself.
Right, exactly.
And he does that in such a good way.
It was beautifully done. It was really good. And so another thing to bring up too is like he played his character like as if he was actually the Joker. Like a lot of people. So like an example would be I think his name was Rami. They did Freddie Mercury and Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yep, Rami Malek.
Yeah,
yep.
He did an excellent job as Freddie Mercury. He felt like Freddie Mercury all around. When he's walking around the stage at Live Aid and stuff, he feels like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
it was and I feel like Phoenix definitely felt like Arthur Fleck or the Joker. Like it was really good. All right, so now we're going to talk about how this actually would connect to the DC universe. So, I was getting a little bit of a vibe where it was a standalone film. It was a true standalone film. You see things like with the MCU, they connect all their films together, but this seemed very standalone to me.
I agree, and even Warner Brothers themselves said that this is going to be a standalone film. It's not going to be directly tied into the DCU, but they would be really stupid not to do that. Yeah. I'm not even kidding. They should tie this in. They should put this as the origin story. They're already, as far as what I've heard, are going to be redoing Suicide Squad.
Right, yeah.
Why wouldn't you put Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker in the new Suicide Squad?
Oh, that'd be genius. Yeah,
exactly. So, in the whole aspect of the DCU, he needs to be in it.
Yeah. So, like, now that they did a standalone Joker movie that doesn't connect to anything else, I mean, if they decided to do, like, a Captain America movie that was more like, his own thing rather than the MCU, a different rendition maybe of Captain America, they might be able to do something like that. Do you think that this Joker movie would influence any other superhero movies to do the same thing?
Absolutely. It would turn more into an origin story-esque movie franchise for the DCU. So you had your Wonder Woman, you had your Aquaman, you have your Joker. Why not keep stretching that limit out? You could definitely go with, we don't need another Batman origin story. We could go with, they have Harley Quinn now. They're going to be doing a Harley Quinn
is going to be huge, yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's going to be an origin story. I haven't seen the trailer yet for it, which I probably should.
I've seen the trailer. It's like...
Is it an origin, or is it...
I think it's kind of building up on Harley Quinn in general.
Okay.
I don't know if it's necessarily an origin story. I didn't see too much information from the actual trailer, but I'm sure some of you guys maybe in the comments could prove me wrong. So we're gonna end this spoiler-free part here, but before we do, the moment you've all been waiting for, how many shushes are we gonna give this movie? So I'm gonna begin here. My score is gonna be 5 out of 5 shushes. Now, this was only whole shushes because you can't have half a shush. Am I gonna just go shh? No, half shushes, a full shush. So, for the full shushes, I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5. And some reasons why are because it showed a lot of the things that we haven't seen from Joker yet.
Yeah.
Like the whole background, and we'll get to more into this stuff with the spoiler portion of the video that will be coming out later on. If it's already out when you're seeing this, you'll see a card on the screen. But it was just really well done in the fact that we saw a new side of Joker that we haven't seen. You feel for the character. That's one thing they did really well. You feel for Joker.
Yeah.
And that was done really well. So what is your score?
So I couldn't agree more. So I've been pre-screening films for almost 7 years now. And in 7 years, I've never actually had to take the time to sit down and take out my phone and write notes. It's the first time that I've ever had to do that before. I would just sit in there, watch the movie, give it a good review rating, just to have when people come in to see it on a regular basis. Just so I can go, yeah, it was pretty good, it was great, it wasn't really my thing, but I know you guys are probably gonna like it. No, this was me sat down, took out my phone, wrote notes about it, and pondered throughout the entire film. Not just for notes for this, I mean notes so that way I can go, oh, well, this tied into that, this tied into this could be that, and this could be leading into this.
Yeah, lots of craziness that just kind of flowed through, and like, you know, it makes your mind go nuts. Like, oh, what is actually happening? Like,
and I've never done that.
I know.
In 7 years. I'm that kind of guy where I go in and I'm like, oh, well, this guy's definitely the antagonist, or oh, this guy's definitely going to do this at this point in time. This movie was not that. Even though I know who Joker was, even though I know what his intentions were, I never saw the twists and turns coming from a mile away.
It was so good.
And for that, for leading me in a completely weird direction, I have to give it 5 shushes. I have to.
All right, so you heard it from us. 5 out of 5 shushes from both of us, Devin and I. So that will be the end of this Don't Talk During the Movie podcast. We're going to do the spoiler edition coming up in a few days if you're watching this as it premieres. But if it's already out, it's going to be on the card on your screen right now. So I hope you guys did enjoy, and we'll see you with the spoiler reaction.